Okay, this is just a test to see what the quality is. Hey, could you bring that up on your iPhone and go into the other room? Or do you want to use my phone?
I'll try that one.
In case you think something exciting is going to be happening right
Is
now.
this
It's
on
not. We're just, what's that?
Is it on Facebook?
It should be, no, it should be on YouTube Live, Calvario Phoenix. So if this popped up on your computer and you think, oh, something exciting is going to happen, it's not. We're just testing some video and audio equipment. So I don't mean to bore you. Check.
You got Calvary Phoenix saved there? I don't know. I usually go to the site when I have it at home. I have it saved on there on my TV.
But it doesn't look like any audio is coming in through YouTube. Checking. Check. So check. What is FAFV?
Audio file video. Audio AFV.
AFV.
Audio file video. You want that?
Checking. Nothing's coming through. Okay.
It's going here. And
We know we're getting a signal here.
We're getting a signal there.
Are we getting? Yeah. Well. Okay. Are we getting signal here?
We were on the other area.
Audio checking. Okay. We're getting a signal here.
Boost the main out on the right, far right, all the way up to 0.
Checking. 1, 2. Checking. Nothing.
I'm not getting feed out of here. Huh.
There's nothing on here that limits the sound.
No, it's just switching your video and your sources.
That's media. That is audio. Huh.
Picture quality doesn't look bad though on the video.
No, it doesn't. Ugh, that scares me. Checking. Does that come through? No, it should be. Checking. It froze. Checking. I think for some reason it was the Bluetooth was on or something. I don't know. It froze. Let's try it now. 1, 2, 1, 2. I think for some reason
Delay.
it was
coming through good.
Huh?
It's coming through good.
What's that noise in the background? Oh, it's the playback coming from that.
I'm not here.
Huh?
I'm not hearing you talk.
Go to my office, Bart. Okay, this is a test just to see how the sound is coming out and whether or not the video and the sound are in sync. I'm also a little concerned with all that background racket we were hearing and whether we're picking up a bunch of noise from someplace. So let me know, Bart, how you think it is. And I'm just wondering whether the camera has a mic on it and whether that could be also picking up some noise. And if so, how do we disable the camera microphone? Because I didn't see that anywhere in the settings. Or maybe there's a way here in the software to make sure that it's not coming through.
It's good when you were in there speaking.
Yeah.
It's good. There's some good video and sync and everything. So, there's no way to mute that channel. That's crazy.
What channel?
That camera.
Oh, yeah, just go. I didn't think of that. Okay, why don't you talk into it and then you go into the other room?
This is Bart. We're checking with Pastor Greg the audio volume and see if we're in sync. I don't know, my lips aren't that good to follow for sync, but anyhow. Looking at this, it looks very good on other people, probably not so well on me, but it works pretty good. And the audio looked like it was going pretty good. Let me know what you think, Greg. Do you want me to talk some more? I mean, I'm sure you got enough of my voice. The volume looks like the volume levels on the, how'd it go?
Good. Well, what was messing with me, like I just turned down the volume right now, was the fact that you're hearing garbled noises coming. It's coming through there, and I'm like, is it? Wow, that's really awful. But once I'm way over there, and you're not getting that, it sounded great.
Yeah, it's nice and clear, and we can have all of our inputs. All of our inputs now, even if we take a phone call here, it's going to be an input that they're feeding into.
Now, what I want to know is how can I hear what's going on? Because maybe I need to have my audio plugged in here.
Well, we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are. If you look into here, you're supposed to be able to hear your volume. But I mean, we did it before and we didn't hear it.
Yeah, but see, I plugged my audio into this one, into the computer. So when I'm on Zoom, I can hear them. Because if I only have myself plugged in here,
They're not coming in unless you have them come in through there.
I would have to have that coming in through here. But the question is, when I talk, is
the loop's going to be here now. Whatever. I don't know that.
I don't know.
That's because that delay would kill you.
But really, oh, but this is a little one, and that's a big. Do we have any headphones that have a big jack?
Quarter inch jack? What? Yeah, those are quarters. Oh, yeah, I think so. I'll talk about.
Checking. Check. Which one am I plugged into?
1.
1, 2. Now I hear myself. Checking. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. I see those are supposed to be sound effects. I know it's playing, but I can't hear it. Oh, there. Here, you sit down.
Can I hear anything?
Hear yourself.
Checking the volume. Sounds good. So you can do a theme song for your show.
Mhm.
And it could be like your theme song.
I don't know
It's
what that is.
collapsing.
Yeah.
Whistling. It's that'd be fun. That's a drum roll. It's like space. Like, what do you call it? Birds. Don't stop until you. That's a harp. This is a harp.
What's that?
Laughing.
Okay. That's like his theme song. Okay.
I guess they stop. I was waiting for him to stop.
Yeah,
laughing.
some of them just they'll play all the way through.
So there you go. Now you got sound effects to your thing.
Okay.
If you want to add them. If we could have looked on how to record, like your theme song, like you could do something for whatever Calvario is, and whatever night, like different theme for prayer night, different theme for. You have to have it on a USB, probably.
I have a micro SD slot here.
I have to look on this.
And then I know there's a way to sync your phone to it. That's me, my phone. It's over there. So, Bluetooth, yeah. Rodecaster Pro. Would it be this one or this one? I think it's this one because I'm going Bluetooth.
Okay.
And unmute it. So if I were to go here. No.
Nothing.
Oh no, it's this one.
Tossed in the trash, I guess. It's like bloop.
Call me.
I don't know how much to it. Let me get rid of it.
Check. Checking. Check. Okay, hold on. How about now? Coming through.
Greg, take a listen. This is like what it'd be for if you're interviewing someone.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. I got the phone here.
no, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Checking 1 2, checking 1 2. This is what it would sound like if you had an interview on the phone. So you get people call you. Call me at Pastor Greg.
Mhm.
Do interviews, or Pastor Christian could do his interviews.
I think it'd be better to hardwire a phone because they have a eighth of an inch jack here for hardwire, because there's a little bit of a delay because of the Bluetooth.
Right, and it's also right.
Yeah.
It's getting loop here.
So I'm thinking maybe it'd be better if I were to be taking calls, I would have
Yeah, you could have an eighth in there.
that way. It's a little bit more direct.
That one you'll be coming out the phone.
Right.
Okay. So then that'll be.
So I guess this is a USB for
Right.
what?
You could take like as let's say
This one we're going from here to where? To the
that's
computer.
going. I thought, what did you say? That's going in here, I think, isn't it? No, that's power.
It's going into that.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering, and why are we doing that?
I don't know. That was in there from before. You were sending your audio in.
Okay, so that's how this audio is being sent in. Okay.
That's into OBS, but that's not going into the ATM Mini.
No.
So unplug that and see. Now, if we're still getting the audio out, you see, like right now, you just unplugged it. The audio levels are real low. Checking 1 2, check 1 2.
No.
Checking 1 2, check 1 2. Checking the levels. The levels look good on here, and they're all the way up on there. We don't have really good high levels over there, but see how it comes through on your where we can monitor in YouTube. I'm checking the levels. Greg, is it coming through clear on the headsets? So we just need to check the YouTube to see how it's coming through. It's going to give us a little feedback because we're getting loop here.
We go to the other room.
Checking the audio. We're looking to see how it comes through on Pastor Greg's phone when he's on YouTube. We're looking. Checking 1 2, checking 1 2. I'm looking to see if it's coming through clear now, and if well, you can't see if I'm in sync because the thing is covering my face. Checking 1 2, checking 1 2. Check, check, check.
Okay, sorry, I just saw that.
Too slow.
No, you don't see that one.
You are like a tortuga. Yeah, you good.
It's good.
Yeah, just got to crank up the volume. I turned it off, so we wouldn't get feedback. Well, here we are. We're testing out the ATM Mini and the Rodecaster Pro, and trying to find out how it all sounds and works out online. And I'm thinking it's going to work really well because we can have multiple mics feeding in, so we could have multiple people on a cast, as well as music, and we can throw in some sound effects and all kinds of goofy things just for everybody's enjoyment, I guess. And now the only thing we got to make sure is that we're getting a decent image, and we might have to put just a little bit better lighting. Well, right now we're just using the fluorescence, so if we get just some cheap lighting, we should be fine, and it might be a much more enjoyable experience for those that are tuning in to our Facebook as well as our YouTube casts. So how's that sound, Bart? You can come on back now from the other room. I had him leave so that we weren't getting a whole lot of feedback.
Sounds good. Give me some sound effects and music.
You want some music from my phone? You have my phone. I can't play any music because that's what it was hooked up to. But I can play that music for you.
Yeah.
And that could be like an intro song introducing the. And Maisie's going behind me. Yes, no, you can hold back your applause. It's okay. It's okay. It's just me. And that's what you play after every one of my jokes.
No, sound effects come through.
The sound effects don't come through?
Nothing's come through on sound effects.
They don't? Yes or no?
No.
Huh. How about now? Is that coming through?
No.
Just give me the new forms, not the old ones. 2020.
I don't know, Bart.
They're coming out your headsets. They're coming out your headsets. Can't read too well.
No, that's just for like if you were to record the podcast audio operations broadcast meters. Processing. USB.
Yeah, you turn around.
Huh?
You probably got to turn around.
question is, what does all these settings mean? And if that's what's having an impact. That makes it keep.
Trying to go back to the the book for this.
Online.
I'm not sure if this turns down. Screw these layers.
So we want to go to Roadcaster Manual. Put your chair up over here.
Hi guys, Ryan here, and in this video, I'm going to show you one of the coolest features of the Rodecaster Pro, the sound pads. You can use these pads to add music, sound effects, or jingles to your podcast. Just hit one of them to fire off your sounds. You can control the level of the pads using the slider right next to the pads. You can put new sounds onto the pads directly from the Rodecaster Pro, or you can do it from your computer using the freely downloadable software. I'm going to show you how to do it directly from the console. So remember to also check out our other videos for details on the software. To add sounds to the pads, go into the settings menu and then tap on sounds. From here, you can see all of the pads and their corresponding colors. To record a new sound to a pad, select that pad and then tap on record. Any sounds going through the Rodecaster Pro will be recorded onto that pad. This can include people speaking into the mics, or you can play music or other sounds directly into the Rodecaster Pro using the phone or USB inputs. As an example, I've got a recording here on my phone, which is connected to the Rodecaster Pro using the TRRS phone input. If I push up on the volume slider for that channel and then press play on my phone, I can hear the audio. But first I'll tap record on the pad that I want to put the sound on. And then I'll press it again to stop the recording when it's finished. And now that sound is on the pad. Remember, you can use the pads not just for jingles or sound effects. You can also use this technique to pre-record a whole interview or segment of your podcast and then play it back into your podcast when needed. So have fun with the sound pads and happy podcasting.
Again, the sound pad.
Okay, that did tell us why it's not coming through though.
Try feeding to ATM Mini through ATM Mini. Rod processor, road.
It should be all coming through. I mean,
Should be an output.
I think it has to do with this unit first. So let's go Rodecaster sound effects not working.
Hey, I'm Mike from Music Radio Creative. In this video, I'll show you how to load jingles and sound effects onto your Rodecaster Pro.
We don't want to learn how to load it.
Hi guys,
Video we just saw. Loading sound.
Hey guys, Ryan here.
Menu, hardware, advanced, audio check. The menu. Is there a setting for hardware?
Podcast. Channels. Sounds is right. Advanced. So,
Let's try here. Okay, so here at my headphones,
is there something coming through?
we're getting signal here, but it's coming through online. My question is, there is a jack right here
That could be for eighth and seventh.
going. I mean, it's right under this. I'm wondering if this is output for the sound effects.
Well, why would you do that if you're going to have sound effects? Because they're supposed to be included in there. So when I did this, I put this TRSS on and went over there with audio. So when I pushed the music. So then I faded in out here.
Mhm.
Is anything coming through the head?
Mhm. I hear it when you fade it in and out.
Okay.
So if it's going from there, the ATM is picking it up. So is the problem with the ATM?
Maybe the output that we're having to go to is we're feeding it back into OBS. So maybe OBS isn't seeing it.
No, because right now we're going into
YouTube.
YouTube. My Rodecaster Pro to ATM.
Help that sound really good and more. But what about your audio? What if you wanted to take the ATEM one step further by attempting to connect the Rodecaster Pro? And this is very important because your audio is half of your video, if not more. So the ATEM helps everything to look really good, have all these different angles, but the Rodecaster can then help that sound really good as well. And there are two different ways that you can go about using the Rodecaster and the ATEM simultaneously, so I'll cover both of those. They each have their pros and cons, and I'll definitely let you know which one I prefer to use. The first one is to connect physically the Rodecaster to the ATEM, and there are a few different ways you can do that. The easiest way is to use just the TRS cable, connect it to the headphone output on the front of the Rodecaster, and then connect the other end into the microphone input on the back of the ATEM. Then all you need to do is turn on microphone 1 or 2, whichever one you connected it to, and that's it. Now you've got the audio from the Rodecaster running into the ATEM. Couple of warnings here though. On the ATEM, you don't have any audio meters, so you do have audio up and down, which means you're going to have to monitor your audio. If you're using something like OBS, that makes it very easy. If you're using something like Zoom, it's a little more difficult, so that's just going to be up to you to manage. And as far as the Rodecaster goes, it's important to remember that regardless of where your sliders are, since you're using the headphone output, it's that headphone control that's really going to affect the output volume that the ATEM Mini receives. So you're going to have to dial in between your microphone input, your headphone output, and the microphone input over here what sounds good for you and how you use it. And then you just need to hop in your software and select your audio and your video sources. So this is Zoom. I'm just going to go into Zoom preferences. And for video, I'm going to click on the Blackmagic Design A10 Mini. I have a camera set up over here, hello, to show that. And then for audio, we're going to select the Blackmagic Design also. So that way the Blackmagic is doing our audio and our video. The benefit to this is that it only takes one USB port on your computer because both things are going in together. So it takes up fewer ports on your computer. That could be really important depending on depending on how you have your setup and what other peripherals you have connected, how many ports your computer has in the first place, all those different variables. And when it comes to OBS, it's kind of the same process really. We've got the ATEM Mini selected as our video source, hello. And we just need to add in the ATEM also as an audio source. So we can click the plus, do audio input. We'll call this ATEM audio. And then we'll select Blackmagic Design from the input and click OK. So now as you can see though, this audio is bright red. It's way just too strong, the signal. So I can adjust that by either turning down the headphone jack on the Rodecaster Pro, or I can also adjust the volume control on the ATEM Mini itself to turn that down. And basically any other software, if you're using something like StreamYard or Ecamm or FaceTime or Skype, any of those things, they basically let you select your video and your audio sources separately, and you would just select both of those as the ATEM Mini because it's processing both. Now this isn't the only way to connect the Rodecaster to the ATEM Mini. If you want to use this front headphone output for your actual headphones, you can also connect it using one of the outputs in the back of the Rodecaster. Now those are 1/4-inch outputs, so you will need an adapter to make your cable fit, or you will need a cable that is 1/4-inch to 3.5 millimeters, and that works as well too. Now here's another variable to consider. The Rodecaster Pro has incredible mic preamps up top. Now those are 1/4-inch outputs, so you go on the ATEM Mini itself to turn that down. And basically any other software, if you're using something like StreamYard or Ecamm or FaceTime or Skype, any of those things, they basically let you select your video and your audio sources separately.
Look what
you would just select both of those.
So this is a headphone jack, and those in back are.
Is this a headphone jack?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what he said.
Process really, we've got the ATEM Mini, call this in from the input and Rodecaster Pro, or I can also adjust the volume control on the ATEM Mini itself to turn that down. And basically any other software, if you're using something like StreamYard or Ecamm or FaceTime or Skype, any of those things, they basically let you select your video and your audio sources separately, and you would just select both of those as the ATEM Mini because it's processing both. Now this isn't the only way to connect the Rodecaster to the ATEM Mini. If you want to use this front headphone output for your actual headphones, you can also connect it using one of the
That can take the whole source of all the feeds.
Yeah, but you see, he's also talking about feeding it through here. We are feeding it through here.
Right.
But why would he use a headphone jack to feed it into the ATEM?
Where do you spot all these cables for nothing?
Hey, we can always use cables. It's not going to be a waste.
But yeah.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I never saw this jack.
We got a quarter and eighth right here. And this is a TRS.
Yeah, but that's what size? That's 1/8? Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we try going from a headphone?
We're going from headphone one. Something just happened up there.
That's finicky. So go ahead and push my headphones into number 2. Checking. Okay, I can hear it. Now can hear that, but does it coming through?
Yeah. So yeah, that works too.
No. Okay. Now we should try this one, right? Do we have 1/8 to 1/8?
You didn't ask me to get one of them.
No, I'm not going to send you out to get one. I'm just thinking we have 1/8 to 1/8. Or do we have a converter that would take 1/4 to 1/8?
Outputs in the back of the Rodecaster. Now those are 1/4-inch outputs, so you will need an adapter to make your cable fit, or you will need a cable that is 1/4-inch to 3.5 millimeters, and that works as well too. Now here's another variable to consider. The Rodecaster Pro has incredible mic preamps. I've talked about this in previous videos. They're very quiet and they're very powerful and they work terrific. What it doesn't have though is a really great headphone preamp. So if you're using the Rodecaster, sometimes you'll notice there's hiss in your headphones that doesn't end up on the final recording. So it's usually not a problem because the final recording sounds better than what you're hearing. But if you're using that output for the ATEM, that does mean that some of that noise could carry over to the ATEM, to your stream, your meeting, your class, whatever you're teaching. So one way around that would be to use a cable like this, which has 2 mono 1/4-inch jacks on one end, and then a stereo 3.5 millimeter connector on the other end. And then you connect this to the 2 left and right monitor outputs and the 3.5 millimeter part to the mic input on the ATEM Mini. And I'll leave a link to this exact cable in the description if you're interested. The reason this is a little bit better is because these monitor outputs are tied directly to the mic preamps, so you don't have to worry about any of these dials up here. Whatever your sliders are at, whatever your broadcast meters are at here, that's the signal that's carrying over into the ATEM Mini. And now there is one more way that you can connect your Rodecaster to the ATEM Mini, and it is actually the way that I prefer, and it doesn't involve using any of these cables. It involves just using a USB-C cable. I have gotten much better results by connecting the Rodecaster directly to my computer and the ATEM directly to my computer. And then, kind of like I said before, I'm using Zoom as the example. If I go into preferences, now for video, I can select the ATEM Mini, the Blackmagic device, and then in audio, I will select the Rodecaster Pro, and now the Rodecaster.
Okay. So rather than this one being here,
I'll take.
we'll go here. So I hear that. I hear that. Okay. Then now we should try this one, right? Do we have 8 to an 8?
You didn't ask me to get with them.
No, I'm not going to send you out to get one. I'm just thinking. We have an 8. You have my permission and blessing. Okay. That didn't work. Okay. He actually said the way you had it originally set up was better. But what he does is he plugs his, here, sit down.
The final recording sounds better than what you're hearing. But if you're using that output for the ATEM, that does mean that some of that noise could carry over to the ATEM, to your stream, your meeting, your class, whatever you're teaching. So one way around that would be to use a cable like this, which has 2 mono 1/4 inch jacks on one end, and then a stereo 3.5 millimeter connector on the other end. And then you connect this to the 2 left and right monitor outputs and the 3.5 millimeter part to the mic input on the ATEM Mini. And I'll leave a link to this exact cable in the description if you're interested. The reason this is a little bit better is because these monitor outputs are tied directly to the mic preamps, so you don't have to worry about any of these dials up here. Whatever your sliders are at, whatever your broadcast meters are at here, that's the signal that's carrying over into the ATEM Mini.
right.
And now there is one more way that you can connect your Rodecaster to the ATEM Mini, and it is actually the way that I prefer. And it doesn't involve using any of these cables. It involves just using a USB-C cable. I have gotten much better results by connecting the Rodecaster directly to my computer and the ATEM directly to my computer. And then, kind of like I said before, I'm using Zoom as the example. If I go into preferences, now for video, I can select the ATEM Mini, the Blackmagic device. And then in audio, I will select the Rodecaster Pro. And now the Rodecaster is taking care of all the audio, the ATEM is taking care of all the video, and they will just work together. The biggest question I get about this, though, is how to handle syncing of the audio and the video. And my answer is, I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you, truthfully. It hasn't been an issue for me. In my Zoom calls, my live streams, the podcasts that Heather and I do every week, it's been fine. I feel like there's some black magic taking place in here. I've used that joke before, but it's true. That makes these things just sort of match up. The only software that I've had any kind of syncing issues with is OBS. And then in OBS, you just need to select your Rodecaster as your audio input, and then you might need to click the little gear and click on advanced audio properties, where you can play with this sync offset. And you probably need to do like a negative number like negative 500, negative 700. I don't have a specific number because honestly, there have been times I don't really use OBS at home that much just because it's too like fiddly, as they say, but I do use it at work quite a bit. And there have been times where I've spent quite a bit of my day getting OBS to sync perfectly. And then the very next day on the exact same setup, it's out of sync again. Personally, and this is just my opinion, I think a lot of it has to do with your computer's processing power and how it's just handling audio, what other apps you have, how powerful your computer is. Because one thing I have noticed is if I use studio mode when I stream on OBS, a lot of times my FPS, my frames per second, will drop down to like 10 or 12. And then if I just click out of studio mode and use like regular switcher mode, the frame rate can jump up easily to 60 FPS if that's what I have it set at. Right now it's at 2398 because that's what the camera's actually filming in. So I don't know for sure. I'm not an engineer on that kind of thing, but I think that that might affect the delay, which just means if you're using OBS, you might want to check your sync every time before you start streaming or start recording. When it comes to other apps like Zoom or StreamYard or Ecamm, I haven't had any issues. They just seem to automatically sync up, at least with this setup of MacBook Pro, ATEM Mini, Rodecaster Pro. It's also worth noting that the ATEM software will allow you to add an audio delay if you click on the audio tab, and then under the mic 1 and mic 2 inputs for the ATEM Mini, you can click this little option right here, and it will bring up a mic input settings panel, which includes a delay and the number of frames that you can delay it. And then this will add an audio delay to the video before the information goes to whatever streaming software you're using. But just like with OBS, it's going to be up to you to play around with the settings to figure out what works best with your specific setup. And just for the sake of clarity, I am using the Rodecaster Pro with the ATEM Mini, but you can use any 3.5 millimeter audio input. That could just be a microphone, that could be a totally different mixer. It doesn't have to be the Rodecaster Pro. Same thing goes with using it as a second. The information goes. And then this software will allow you to add an audio delay if you click on the audio tab. And then under the mic 1 and mic 2 inputs for the ATEM Mini, you can click this little option right here, and it will bring up a mic input settings panel, which includes a delay and the number of frames that you can delay it. And then this will add an audio delay to the video before the information goes to whatever streaming software you're using. But just like with OBS, it's going to be up to you to play around with the settings to figure out what works best with your specific setup. And just for the sake of clarity, I am using the Rodecaster Pro with the ATEM Mini, but you can use any 3.5 millimeter audio input. That could just be a microphone, that could be a totally different mixer. It doesn't have to be the Rodecaster Pro. Same thing goes with using it as a second USB input. That could be any other mixer that offers USB functionality. That could be just a USB microphone like a Blue Yeti or a Rode NT USB, anything like that. You can still select your separate audio and video sources in whichever software you're using. And that's really the key, because that's going to help everything you make, your streams, your podcasts, your classes, your meetings, whatever it is, your recordings, look a lot better. Because do you know what you get when you combine a great audio source with a great video source? You get a great video. It's no joke. It's what you get. You get a great video because you have good audio and you have good video, and it's just a great video.
So if we did with the USB, and then USB output to that USB source, we have enough inputs there to put it in, then we can have everything out with one. Okay, we don't have to should listen to that before I spend money, but
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Just remember that you can adjust your sync issues before you do a preview.
Well, won't we try that?
Let me come down tomorrow.
Okay.
I've got to go now because Elizabeth's got somebody coming to the house
No
to
problem.
talk about her investments. So she said, "You got to help me."
Okay, brother. No, you're good. Thank you for your help, and we'll reconnect tomorrow.
What time tomorrow? Same bad time, same bad channel.
Yeah.
Want me to pick up?
That'd be great.
I'll be there at 10.
Okay, thanks, bro.
Thank you.
I will call you. Let's talk to confirm. Just because since Ellie's stuck at home and I have to supervise her final exams, I didn't look at the schedule what time her test is tomorrow.
Why don't you call me tonight?
Okay. I'll do that.
Once you do that.
Okay. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
No. I want this going in here. Checking. 1, 2. Okay. Check. 1, 2. Oh, that's wrong. Checking. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Checking. Check. What's going on here? Check. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Check. So the mic is going in. This is leaving and going in here. Okay. I have my microphone going in here. Checking. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now go to here. We're going to go to YouTube. Accounts. How am I add my own account to this? Checking. Hey, Maisie. Hey, Maisie. Yeah.
Hey, Pastor Rick, I'm watching your live stream, so if you have a questions, I can help you or answer because I'm watching you.
Yeah, just tell Maisie not to be singing because it's messing me up.
Okay, I will let her know.
Bye.
Okay, I will let her know.
Now, why is okay? There's where's it picking up sound?